Battle of Baecula, fought in 208 BCE, holds a significant place in the annals of military history as a pivotal engagement during the Second Punic War, where Roman forces under the command of Scipio-Africanus clashed with Carthaginian troops in Spain. This battle serves as a crucial demonstration of Roman military strategy and marks a turning point in the Roman-Carthaginian conflict, ultimately influencing the trajectory of the war. The significance of the Battle of Baecula lies in its strategic implications. Scipio's victory at Baecula was a masterstroke that disrupted Carthaginian supply lines and communications, effectively weakening Hannibal's position in Italy by severing his support from Spain. This triumph not only showcased Scipio's tactical genius, but also bolstered Roman morale and solidified Roman control over the Iberian Peninsula. The battle exemplifies the importance of strategic geographical positioning and its impact on the broader campaign against Hannibal's forces. A prime example illustrating the significance of Baecula is Scipio's innovative use of the double envelopment tactic. By attacking the Carthaginian forces on two fronts, Scipio was able to outmaneuver and crush his adversaries, demonstrating the efficacy of Roman military adaptations. Additionally, the victory at Baecula underscored the effectiveness of Roman political alliances, as Scipio secured the support of local tribes, weakening Carthaginian influence in the region. Support for the importance of the Battle of Baecula comes from various historians who praise Scipio's leadership and strategic foresight. They argue that this engagement marked the beginning of a series of successes that would eventually lead to Rome's dominance over Carthage. However, some scholars question the scale of the victory, suggesting that it may have been exaggerated by Roman sources to amplify Scipio's achievements and bolster his reputation. The complexities of the Battle of Baecula also present potential challenges and controversies. The reliability of historical accounts is often debated, as Roman sources may have downplayed Carthaginian resistance to glorify Scipio's accomplishments. Furthermore, there are alternative viewpoints regarding the long-term impact of Baecula, with some suggesting that while significant, it was just one of many factors contributing to Carthage's eventual defeat. In conclusion, the Battle of Baecula is intrinsically linked to the broader narrative of the Second Punic War. It exemplifies the role of strategic innovation and geopolitical maneuvering in military success, while also highlighting the complexities of interpreting historical events. The battle not only signaled a shift in momentum in favor of Rome, but also set the stage for subsequent engagements that would dictate the outcome of the war. Pre-battle movements and strategic setup are pivotal elements that lay the groundwork for any military encounter, particularly in historical battles like the Battle of Baecula in 208 BC, where Roman forces led by Scipio-Africanus faced Carthaginian troops under Hannibal's command. This phase involves the deployment and maneuvering of troops, gathering intelligence, and establishing a tactical advantage before the actual confrontation begins. It directly impacts the outcome of the battle by setting the stage for either success or failure, depending on the decisions and strategies employed. The significance of pre-battle movements in the context of the Battle of Baecula cannot be overstated. This preparatory stage allowed Scipio to demonstrate his strategic acumen by securing high ground, gaining advantageous positioning, and effectively utilizing his forces to outmaneuver the Carthaginians. By carefully selecting the battlefield and orchestrating maneuvers that confused and stretched the enemy's lines, Scipio was able to mitigate the numerical advantage held by his opponents. This not only exemplified the importance of strategic foresight, but also underscored the impact of terrain selection and the element of surprise in military engagements. One real-world application of this concept can be seen in General Robert E. Lee's maneuvers during the American Civil War, where his strategic positioning often allowed Confederate forces to punch above their weight. Another example is the use of blitzkrieg tactics by the Germans during World War II, which emphasized swift, coordinated movements that disrupted enemy plans before battles could formally begin. Support for the emphasis on pre-battle movements can be found in Sun Tzu's The Art of War, which advocates for strategic planning and positioning as means to ensure victory even before combat commences. Moreover, military theorists and historians affirm that battles are often decided long before troops engage, highlighting the importance of this preparatory phase. However, this concept is not without its challenges and controversies. Critics might argue that focusing heavily on pre-battle positioning can lead to over-planning and rigidity, potentially stifling adaptability in the heat of battle. Some also point out the risks of miscalculating the enemy's response or underestimating their capabilities during these movements. Pre-battle movements and strategic setup are intrinsically linked to the broader narrative of the Battle of Baecula and Scipio's military career. His success in this phase not only reinforced Roman power in Spain, but also laid the groundwork for future operations against Carthage, setting the tone for Roman dominance in subsequent conflicts. Understanding this aspect offers valuable insights into the timeless nature of strategy and warfare. The forces and commanders profile of Scipio and Hannibal's command. Heading explores the military leaders and the composition of the forces involved in the Battle of Baecula, a pivotal encounter in 208 BCE during the Second Punic War. This concept delves into the strategic minds and capabilities of Publius Cornelius Scipio, representing Rome, and the Carthaginian command structure left by Hannibal, showcasing the contrasting military strategies and leadership qualities that shaped the course of the battle. The significance of understanding the commanders lies in their influence over the battle's outcome and their roles in the larger narrative of the Second Punic War. Scipio, though young, brought innovative tactics and a charismatic leadership style that would later earn him the title Africanus. A closer look at Scipio's leadership reveals his use of flexibility in battlefield tactics, often adapting to the strengths and weaknesses of his adversaries. For instance, his famous use of the double envelopment tactic at the Battle of Ilipa demonstrates his strategic acumen. In contrast, Hannibal's commanders in Spain, such as Hasdrubal Barca, present a more traditional approach, relying on their familiarity with the terrain and local alliances. Hasdrubal's strength was in maintaining established Carthaginian strategies, but his eventual need to support Hannibal in Italy divided their efforts. One real-world application of these profiles is in military leadership education, where Scipio's strategic innovations continue to be studied as examples of effective adaptive warfare. Additionally, corporate leadership programs often draw parallels between Scipio's leadership style and modern business strategies that require agility and innovation. There are debates about the imbalance between Scipio's fame and Hasdrubal's comparative obscurity, raising questions about the narrative focus in historical accounts. This view suggests a potential downplaying of Carthaginian strategic challenges and contributions in favor of Roman achievements. Another alternative viewpoint critiques the Roman-centric perspective that often dominates historical narratives, emphasizing the need to evaluate Hasdrubal's efforts in maintaining the Carthaginian stance under Hannibal's ambitious campaigns. Understanding the profiles of these commanders connects deeply with the grand strategy of the Second Punic War. Scipio's victories in Spain were crucial in unraveling Carthaginian control in the region, directly impacting Hannibal's resources and reinforcements. Hence, the command structure plays a critical role, not only in the Battle of Baecula, but also in the broader outcome of the war, setting the stage for Scipio's eventual confrontation with Hannibal at the Battle of Zama. In discussing the tactics and battle strategies employed during the Battle of Baecula in 208 BCE, it is essential to delve into the intricacies that define this significant engagement between Roman forces, led by Scipio-Africanus, and those of Carthage under the command of Hasdrubal Barca, Hannibal's brother. Tactics and strategies in this context refer to the planned maneuvers and military actions devised by commanders to defeat the enemy, utilizing terrain, troop formations, and surprise elements to gain a strategic advantage. The battle holds considerable importance as it marked a turning point in the Second Punic War, demonstrating Scipio's innovative approach and shifting the momentum in favor of Rome in the Iberian campaign. By employing the element of surprise and leveraging superior knowledge of terrain, Scipio successfully disrupted Hasdrubal's ability to move reinforcements to Italy, which had profound implications on Hannibal's capacities in his Italian campaigns. Two specific examples stand out in illustrating these tactics. First, Scipio's surprise attack on Hasdrubal's camp was executed with precise timing and coordination, showcasing his ability to mask the movement of his forces and catch the Carthaginian army unprepared. This advantage was critical in overcoming the numerical superiority of Carthaginian forces. Second, Scipio cleverly utilized the surrounding landscape, specifically the hills, to encircle Hasdrubal's troops, effectively turning the terrain into a weapon. Such innovative use of geographical features highlighted his strategic acumen and underscored a departure from more traditional Roman line of battle tactics at the time. Supporters of Scipio's methods often claim that his flexibility and creativity on the battlefield were pivotal in securing victories against Carthage and set a new standard for Roman military doctrine. However, some historians argue that such tactics, while efficient, still relied heavily on the initial miscalculations and lack of preparedness by the Carthaginian commanders. Challenges to these views arise from debates on whether Scipio's strategies could be universally applied or relied too heavily on the specific conditions of Baecula. Critics may suggest that other commanders in similar positions might not succeed without such fortuitous advantages, indicating the complex interplay between strategic genius and opportunistic circumstances. In the broader context of the Second Punic War, the tactics at Baecula not only reinforced Scipio's reputation, but also contributed to the evolving Roman art of war, influencing future military engagements across various theaters. Scipio's success underscored the critical role of tactical innovation, shaping the trajectory of Roman expansion and serving as a cornerstone for his future achievements, including the decisive Battle of Zama.